Hello everyone, it's Tamara Bennett from Southern Adoornments Decor. Tonight we are talking all about how to do leopard print. So if that is something that you felt like you've always struggled with, or maybe you've seen in people's projects and wish you could paint, I actually have 6 different ways we're going to paint leopard print, and I kind of designed these out on my iPad to start with because I wanted to kind of have like a game plan, because I tend to do leopard print like all different kinds of ways, and I could think of at least 6 different ways that I could show you guys, and they're all pretty much the same way you paint them, but I wanted to inspire you with different styles. And so first we're going to be talking about traditional leopard print, like classic brown and black. Then we're going to move into talking about glam leopard print with some glitter. And then we're going to be talking about like modern. And then we're going to be talking about color, like monochromatic painting leopard print, but with some color. And then we're going to do funky and then true monochromatic, if I can get that word out of my mouth. Let's just start off with traditional. So traditional, you're just going to need like a tan color. So let me pull out something here. It could be anything from like this fawn color or like a burlap to like a honey brown. So, I mean, you can kind of pick whatever floats your boat. It could even be like sable brown. Like any of these colors would work really well. You're going to pair like a lighter sort of brown with a black. So I've got my little ice cube tray, which is full of dried up paint right now. We're just going to put a little more in it. And I think I'm going to use sable brown actually. Sometimes I lean toward the lighter color, but I think for this one, I'm going to try sable brown. And the thing that I like to use is a filbert tip brush. This one is from my signature paintbrush set, and a round tip brush. I've got one of those in my signature brush set also. This one has quite a bit more bristles in it, so it's a little bit fatter for a round tip brush, and that's what we're going to use. All right, so this is the traditional way, and we're just going to kind of lay down little blobs of paint. So you can make these look like polka dots, but I kind of like to make them look like wobbly little blobs, just little blobbles. And some of them can be big, some can be smaller. The bigger you make your blobs, the bigger your leopard print will be. And so I'm just going to kind of fill the space here. I'm even going to make some kind of go halfway off the page and down to the edge here, because if you're painting a door hanger, you definitely want to make sure you've got some kind of going off the edge. Otherwise, they kind of end up looking like they're just floating, and you don't want them floating. Okay, now we're going to take our round tip brush and pick up the black. And the thing here is to kind of go halfway on top of each of your little spots and do a little wiggle. So there's a few different wiggles you can do. You can do some that look like a parentheses. See how that looks like it's kind of curving toward itself? You can do some that looks like a little U or a C shape. And then you can do some that are kind of like a U or C shape with a little like slash on the other side. So it doesn't go all the way around. It would look kind of goofy if we were completely circling the entire blob. So I kind of put it a little on each side. And when I'm doing this, I'm kind of just jiggling my brush. See how I'm kind of just doing a little wiggle. And it doesn't have to be neat. To me, the little fringes and the almost like messy little brush strokes feel a little more authentic to actual leopard print. Now we're going to do more of like a glam leopard print with a little bit of like gold, maybe even some glitter. I'm going to start with, do I want to use this one? Let's use this one. Dazzling Metallics, Glorious Gold. And I may just dip it right out of the lid. And we're going back to our filbert tip brush, loading it up, and we're just going to do some little gold blobs. You know what? We might even make these bigger, like a bigger, chunkier leopard print. So I'm going to spread these out even bigger and make them a little larger. So we've got like big chunky leopard print. Now you could go with a dark brown to go around these, depending on your like whatever you're going for. You know, like sometimes you want stuff to be more brown and tan, and sometimes you want stuff to be black. I want black on this. So I'm just going to go with regular black, just like we did on the last one. And we're going to just put that on there kind of around the edges of these. And you can even though like these are bigger leopard spots, so you might even want to make it a little thicker and kind of go like double the width a little and make it look chunkier. Okay, so that one's a little more glam. We could even take it up a notch. If I had, I don't know if I have any. I may not have any handy. I'll have to look. We could even put gold glitter in the middle on top of our gold paint, and that would even glam it up even more. Okay, the modern technique. Now this I wanted to do with like a fun pop of color. So we're going to pick a really fun pink. Lately I've really been enjoying this joyful pink. It is such a pretty pink. So I'm going to just do this with the filbert tip brush. And we're just going to, this one's a little trickier if you kind of are used to this technique. This is drawing those little black squiggles without the dot in the middle. So you kind of have to just imagine that there's a dot in the middle, but I almost feel like this is faster. And I love filling in a space with this kind of pattern. And you can even get a little messier with this one. See how I accidentally blobbed some paint right there? And I'm like, No, that's part of the leopard print. We're just gonna pretend that was supposed to be there. But I'm making those same exact shapes. Some of them are kind of like a parentheses. Some are like a wiggly little U shape or a C shape. And then some are kind of like that C shape with a little, like it's trying to close the circle on the other side. It's a little bit smaller than like a parentheses. And so with this one, you know, if you had an awkward spot like right here that you wanted to kind of fill in, you could just do like a little squiggle, and that little squiggle kind of just fills the space in a little better. But I really love doing this as like a way to just fill a space and make it look interesting. Next, we're going to do color monochrome. So this could be done with any sort of color combination. I'm going to demonstrate it with kind of like a teal blue sort of color. Let's see what I got here. Teal mint. I really love this color. Sherry loves the Glam. So this color is called teal mint. It's really cute. And then we're going to also take some white and mix with our teal mint. I'm not going to mix all of this, but I am going to blend the 1/2 of this with white to make a lighter shade. So we're going to start with the lighter color, and we're going to do little blobs like so. Look at that color. That's so pretty. Oh, I guess we should probably talk about too why you would choose one style over another. The traditional style is a really good way to kind of like add a bold pattern to something. If you really wanted to fill in an area and really make it a bold leopard print, the Glam is sort of the same way, just fancier. The modern, it can be bold if it's done on top of white like this, like that's very bold. If you did it on top of like a light pink background, it's not going to stand out nearly as much, right? Because it's dark pink on top of a light pink background. And so that's going to make it kind of less, like a less of a pop. That was a terrible example. It's going to be less of a pop in your face. And so it's more of like a subtle background or pattern filler. Okay, here's our lighter shade. We mixed with the white. Now we're going to go in with the original color and just add that around the edges. So again, this is a much more subtle way to do a leopard print pattern. Different leopard prints could work well for different projects. So like, I think this type of leopard print could look really cute, like on a baby door hanger or some kind of project like that, or like a teenager, like a dorm room door hanger. Okay, next let's move on to funky. This is a really fun one. So this one I'm going to use pink and I'm going to use orange. Actually, let's pull this new orange that I got. I got tangerine orange. That's really fun. It's so bright. And so this totally reminds me of like a teenage girl. It's just really bold and fun. This feels like lipstick. Like I feel like I'm painting with lipstick. It's the prettiest color. We're going to take our tangerine now and add some tangerine. All right, I'm gonna grab this gray sky color and we're gonna do a true like monochromatic with gray and black. I love this. I feel like it's classic, but also kind of modern, has a little bit of a chic vibe too. I really like just the black without the gray, but if you feel like it needs a little more depth or a little something else, the gray is a really nice addition. It's more like a snow leopard sort of look. As you can see, I'm really not overthinking these little leopard spots. I just squish them in there and just smush my brush around. It's kind of nice to not have to like stress over it or think about it too much or overanalyze it. You just slap it on there. I think I'm gonna make these little, like the outlines on these just a little chunkier. I'm gonna go back and like make them a little thicker. So for this, for like the chunkier look, I'm kind of like, instead of putting my brush kind of down on its tip, I'm kind of holding it almost on its side and doing like a little wiggle around. Each color puts a spin on a different look. So we've got traditional, glam, modern, color monochrome, funky, and monochromatic. So drop me a comment. Let me know which of the 6 is your favorite. I feel like it's a toss up between modern and color monochromatic for me, but I feel like this probably has my heart. That's the one I love the most. All right, y'all, have a wonderful night. I'll see you next time. Bye.